Hello everybody, I'm Realtor Edie McCombs and today's topic is appraisals. And listen, when I'm in charge of real estate, we're going to do appraisals up front. Because one of the challenges is you go make an offer, you put it under contract, and then we do the inspections, we go for an appraisal. Now the thing is, appraisals are opinions. The appraiser goes out, looks and finds comps, and then does a math formula to say how much your house is worth. Now, if it's in a cookie cutter neighborhood, they're fairly close usually. But if you get that unique house on acreage where there's not another home like it close, it can be a real challenge for the appraisers, and it's really hard for a realtor to tell you what your house is worth because it's based on what is for sale at the time, which sometimes makes it not exactly fair if nobody around you is listing that has similar properties. So what happens is once you get to a point, your lender will order the appraiser. As a buyer, you pay for the appraisal, you own it. It's up to you whether you share it with the seller or not. For the most part, the seller is told whether it's good or not. They're not told what it is, which can be a little infuriating if you're the realtor who wanted to know, did I figure my comps out right? And I'm a numbers girl, I like to know. And sometimes if they're nice enough to share it with me, I'm lucky enough to know. Or if the appraisal doesn't come in, then we get a copy of it. And you know, there are good and bad appraisers just like everything else. And just because we don't agree doesn't make them wrong. But sometimes it can cost a seller money because it's a difference of opinion. And the appraiser has the final say-so. And what happens if it underappraises is we basically have three options. The buyer can give the difference up because the lender won't be able to give only the appraisal amount for the loan. The deal can fall through, or the seller can lower the sales cost. And it's kind of difficult because we don't know until we're in the middle of a deal. And it's called Tidewater if it's a VA loan. And yeah, it kind of feels like it because you feel like you've been drowned a little bit because now you've got both parties here and trying to be fair and equal and get it resolved. I've been very fortunate. Most of mine that have been underappraised have, you know, or I should say the appraisals come under. It's not necessarily underappraised to be factual, but most of the time the seller will lower the price if they can afford to. Now there are situations where the seller just can't, they have another loan to pay off. But the drama and the conflict of it all can be a bit much. But I try to make sure my people know up front, this is a possibility. Because if a deal breaks, by that time the buyer has already paid their home inspection. They've paid the appraisal fee. Depending on the lender, the lender may just absorb the cost. But you're out $300 or $400, excuse me. And there's nothing the realtor can do to protect you. I try to make sure my people know up front because sometimes I'll see a listing and tell them, I feel like it's overpriced. But in this multiple offer situation, sometimes it's better to put the offer in and see what the appraiser says. But the appraisers are the ultimate decision-making on how much the lender can do. And ironically, I have seen it where a house will fall through where they won't accept it, and 2 weeks later another appraisal comes in and the numbers are $15,000 off. So it's just simply a conflict in the industry that the smart realtors have to try and make sure their clients know what's going on. So I know not everybody understands appraisals, and an appraisal, the same appraiser could do an appraisal 60 days apart and come up with completely different numbers because it's based on what homes are for sale at that moment. It's like a snapshot. Usually they're considered good for about maybe 30 days. It depends on what the use is for the appraisal. And realize there's different kinds of appraisals. If you take a home equity loan, they drive by your house. I had one that they appraised the house as an actual stick-built house. There was a mobile home with other structures like a garage and add-ons onto it. But the appraiser never had the benefit of actually examining the structure. So you have to be a little careful on what you take out on a home equity loan versus what you may get appraised for a house, and understanding that there are different types of appraisals. so that you don't end up in a jam where you've taken too much out of your house and you can't sell it when you need to. And sometimes in those situations, maybe it's a good idea just to find a reliable realtor and see if they will give you some information. And if there's anything I can do to help out, please let me know. My opinions are opinions. You know, there's nothing set in stone, but maybe I can give you some guidance. And I'd love the opportunity to help you.